Welcome back. It is time for Daybreak in 10 on Color 10.
We are on the air with you for the next 10 minutes without commercials beginning right now. And first, let's head on over to meteorologist Beth Vanella with our forecast first. Good morning, Beth.
Good morning, Jen. Good morning, everyone. We're starting off warm this morning as you head out the door. It's 59 degrees right now in Branson. We're running about 4 or 5 degrees warmer than we were at this time yesterday. It's 58 in Springfield, 64 in Joplin, 60 in Fort Leonard Wood. Kids, as you head out the door this morning to the bus stop, you're not going to need your jackets. It's a mild start. It's warm with the upper 50s and lower 60s. By this afternoon, also not going to need jackets. Temperatures will be in the middle 80s. A lot of sunshine. We could see a little bit of cloud coverage, especially off to the south and east. Then through the overnight hours, we'll have a couple of clouds again. A few showers south and east of the interstate, and that's generally where the showers will be focused through the afternoon tomorrow. That's also where temperatures will only top off in the 70s here in Springfield. I think we top off at about 80 or 81 tomorrow afternoon with a few clouds. Saturday we'll do it again. Lower 80s, some showers off to the south and east from what will be the remnants of Hurricane Delta with a few clouds. Warm on Sunday in the middle 80s, lots of sunshine. Then a front comes in on Monday. That's going to bring the possibility of some more shower chances. Then we also have temperatures dropping into the 70s on Monday, in the 70s for much of next week. A little bit more sunshine and a little bit more fall-like.
New for you this morning, Missouri State is working to help students and faculty de-stress from midterms. Nigel McDonald visited the campus and is in studio now to explain what exactly the university is doing to help. Nigel, good morning.
Yeah, Joel, good morning. MSU is hosting a virtual wellness week, which kicks off next Monday. Now, this event allows students to discuss topics like mental health and racial awareness. The event features topics of the day, special guest speakers, giveaways, and ways to promote physical and emotional health. MSU student Molly Beshore helped coordinate the program and says the goal is to provide resources for all. The week-long event also includes topics like self-care and stress management, as well as Black Lives Matter and LGBTQIA+. Students will hear from their peers in addition to experts on each topic. Students can participate in the discussions virtually through their Instagram profiles.
We have an entire day dedicated to mental health, which is really important to me, and it's people speaking incredibly honestly about having dealt with anxiety, depression, other types of mental illness, and the Counseling Center points out that mental illness is such a spectrum. It really doesn't have to be something so crippling. Even though it can be the smallest of things that you just might need a little bit of help or a little bit of support for.
Well, Wellness Week is hosted by Missouri State's Department of Theater and Dance, and its Instagram page is MSU Theater Dance, and this will serve as the main hub for information on the event. And as always, visit our website at ozarksfirst.com for a complete schedule.
A pedestrian has died in Nixa after being hit by a pickup truck yesterday. The man was in his late 50s and was crossing the street when he was hit. He was taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. The driver of the truck is cooperating. Nixa police and the Highway Patrol are leading this investigation.
Yesterday, we told you about some big changes that could be coming for Springfield Public Schools, and we followed up and spoke with Stephen Hall from the district about what they're looking at. The quarter ends next week, so you can expect an announcement of whether or not those changes will take place. What they're considering is moving to 5-day in-person learning for grades pre-K through 8th. If these changes happen and your student was learning on the hybrid model, they'll automatically be shifted to 5 days of in-person learning a week. But if your student was learning virtually full-time, they have to stay on that course until the end of the semester.
Only extreme hardships would be considered for a need to adjust the learning model at this point. The reason that that is necessary is that, as you can imagine, it is a huge undertaking to restaff the district. So we have reassigned all of our teachers and our support staff based on the number of students that are currently enrolled in each option. So it really isn't feasible for there to be extensive shifts from one model to the next.
Again, that's for pre-K through 8th grade. High schoolers will see no change to their schedules through at least this first semester of the school year.
Following up on a crime we told you about over 2 years ago, Jeffrey Stevenson has a scheduled plea hearing later this morning for his role in a double murder. Joe and Brandy Allen were killed inside their home in 2018. Police say Stevenson and Billy Medley were trying to steal the couple's vehicles when they were confronted, and that's when the couple was shot and killed. Medley was sentenced to 48 years in prison for his role after accepting a plea deal earlier this year.
In some news around the region, multiple buildings and boats were destroyed in a marina fire near St. Charles. That's off of St. Louis County in Missouri. Boats, a dock, and buildings that store about 25 additional boats were all fully engulfed in flames there. Even the fire trucks working to put all this out got caught up in the heat and the fire. At least one person was injured and taken to a hospital burn unit.
Making news around America this morning, protests continue in Wisconsin after news that Officer Joseph Mensah will not be charged in a fatal shooting of a teenager. Protesters took to the streets of Milwaukee, even getting on the freeway at one point and clashing briefly with deputies. It's the 132nd day they've marched, a number of those days to get justice for 17-year-old Alvin Cole, fatally shot by Officer Mensah. The local police department barricaded in the event. Any rioting began during the protests.
Protesters also got out on the streets following the release of Derek Chauvin. He's the former Minnesota police officer charged in George Floyd's death and was released from jail yesterday morning after posting $1 million in bond. He's facing murder and manslaughter charges. Demonstrators chanted, "Hands up, don't shoot," demanding justice in the name of George Floyd. The protests were mostly peaceful despite numerous arrests that were made.
Two different Meet the Candidates forums are happening tonight as part of a joint effort of 10 community organizations. The first forum features Republican Alex Riley and Democrat Derek Nolan. They are running for a state representative District 134. It will be hosted by the League of Women Voters of Southwest Missouri and is scheduled to begin at 5. The second forum will feature Republican and incumbent Steve Helms, Democrat Betsy Fogel, and Green Party candidate Vicki Kepling, and they are running for a state representative District 135. It's hosted by the Junior League of Springfield and is scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. You can find a link to both forums at thelibrary.org or head on over to the hosting organization's Facebook page.
The Missouri Job Center is hosting a drive-through job fair today in Branson. It goes from 8 a.m. till 11 a.m. It's at the Branson, Missouri Job Center parking lot on Shepherd of the Hills Expressway. Employers taking part will be Cox Health and Silver Dollar City, among others. Overall, 11 total companies will be looking to hire.
Now here's a look at what's coming up after Daybreak.
Coming on, we'll talk about the vice presidential face-off and how it could impact the election. Plus, NASCAR champion Jimmy Johnson talks about ways racing can battle racism and support diversity. Coming up on CBS This Morning.
All right, the vice presidential debate's what's everyone talking about, but a big trend of news that broke about 15, 20 minutes ago, Jen.
Yes, so the presidential debate has been announced that the next one for next week will be virtual. President Trump and Joe Biden will be at separate locations, and it is happening virtually. That is the last we've heard, and that is all we know right now. A lot of detail is yet to come on how this is going to work. There's been a lot of talk about how the last one went, so we'll have to see how this plays out.
Of course, President Trump got the coronavirus shortly after that first debate, and he has not fully recovered from that yet. So that's the idea of making it virtual. It's scheduled to be a week from today, actually, Thursday night, October 15th. So we'll do that. It'll be virtual, and I think the mute button jokes are going to be ridiculous online, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
Both parties interrupting a bit much
That is
in the
something
last
that
debate.
from the last debate that people had been talking about.
Right.
But the president's doctors had been saying he was okay and he would be okay for next week's debate, and that's something Joe Biden had said, that if the president was not fully recovered, that he shouldn't do the debate. So now being virtual, we'll have to see what each of them have to say about it.
So you want to check out CBS This Morning for some details. We'll, of course, have the latest details on midday for you as well. We also have the latest details on this weather, and it is pretty fantastic, right?
It's pretty summery again today, but I mean, at least it's not, 30 degrees outside, so I'll take that. We're starting off this morning with temperatures in the 50s and 60s. This afternoon in the middle 80s once again. We're going to stay in the 80s Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with a few shower chances south and east. Warm and 80s again Sunday. A few shower chances on Monday, and then we are back with fall-like conditions next week.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much for starting your morning off with us here on Daybreak.